Hey guys, this is going to be JT with my final review thoughts on the Armor Granite 4x4. You guys know that this is one of the hot new releases that Armor has released in 2017 towards the end. They're actually released the Granite 4x4 and the Senton 4x4. So they're coming out with a four-wheel drive line of their two-wheel drive 10-scale cars, which I think is good. So first off is going to be with the radio. It does come with the Tactic radio, which this is a 3-channel radio and it has a 3-channel receiver. So it's got a third channel here. You can kind of toggle, back and forth, which is good. Never had any problems or issues with this radio, so I don't think we will either. This is kind of an upgrade to one that they had before. An upgrade from one they had several years ago. I don't know if you guys remember when Armor first came out. They did have a radio where you can actually reverse and go left to right. But this radio has been fine, haven't had any problems or anything with it. It does come with a wireless receiver, meaning that there's no wire on the receiver, which I thought was good. And like I said, this is a 3-channel radio, so if you wanted to, I don't know, put some lights or something on the truck and use the third channel for that, you could. So getting up and close and personal with the truck, starting from the outside and working my way on the inside. The tires and the wheels. The tires have got a great compound. Let's see if we can get a little bit more light going here. There we go. I haven't had any problems. I've had a lot of traction with these tires on and off road and in slick surfaces and in wet surfaces and stuff. You see it does have a little bit of wear on there, but this is after about, I probably ran this thing about 20 plus times or so. And on different surfaces as well, you guys can see it's got mud and dirt and all that on there. And they've held up well. I flipped this car a lot, trying to test some of the durability, and I deliberately flipped it too. And the wheels and stuff didn't crack. So that was a good thing. The body has held up fine as well. You guys see there are some scuff marks on here from when, I was driving, other people drive it as well, and they kind of flipped it and all that. But the body has held up well. It does come with, I love that they do this, these attachments to the body, because this actually with the pins on it. So this keeps you from kind of losing your body pins and stuff. If you ever do lose these, they do sell these, I believe. I know Tower Hobbies has some. They're like $3.99 for a set of 4. So these are a great addition just to any 10-scale car. Even if you don't have this particular truck, you could buy these, and that's a great addition. Just use your body ream or drill a hole and pop those through. So that is good that they have these. The only problem, and it's not really a problem that I've had with the truck, was as I ran the truck. Let's see if we can get this back on here real quick, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. The body did rub a lot as I was running the truck, and you guys see there where it's kind of rubbing the paint off the body some. So I do recommend that when you get this, if you want, go ahead and get some black duct tape or something. Stick it underneath it, cut the hole in it just to keep, so when this body is rubbing, it won't rub the paint off there, because it will eventually do that. Or I believe there's Dan's, I forgot what they're called. They're like Dan's foam spacers. They're like real thin or thick ones. You can get the thin ones and put them underneath to kind of protect the body some. But I mean, other than that, I haven't had any damage or anything with the body. The body is actually pretty thick. So I was kind of surprised at the thickness of the body. And like I said, the abuse that I put it landing on its top and stuff, it didn't break. So that was a plus or a good thing for me as well. So looking on the inside of the car, like I said before, it does come ready to run. It comes with a 2400 milliamp 8.4 volt battery pack. When I first charged this pack, it got to about, I think it was about 29, or I'm sorry, not 29, 2490, almost 2500 milliamps. So the rating is a little underrated, but it is good because it actually charged to a higher capacity than what's actually, as you guys see there, 2400, and what's actually rated on here. So that was good. Average runtime with this battery in this truck was about 11 minutes, about 11 to 12 minutes. It could be a little bit more, just depends on how hard you run it. I hadn't experienced any heat issues. I actually did some running videos, and you guys can see that when I was running the truck, stock out the box, with this and with the LiPo, it didn't get that high. It didn't get above 112, 15 degrees. Now, when I geared up to a 17 tooth, it did get to about 100 in the 20s or low 30s. So that was kind of pushing it with the 17 in here, but it can be done if you run it on road. I don't recommend gearing with a 17 and running it off road. So speaking of which, with the motor and stuff, this motor's performed well. I haven't had any issues with the motor. I didn't see any decrease in speed as I was running it. But I also kept the maintenance up on the motor as well. So for instance, when I ran through dusty areas and stuff, I did have like an air compressor or something, or I did blow the dust out of the motor just to keep it from getting clogged up. And I did every now and then. I think I did it maybe twice. I put a little oil on the bushing here on the end of the motor. And when I actually took this out, I put some on the other end there as well, just so that the bushings could wear in and stuff on the motor. Other things with this truck is this thing is very beefy. I mean, you guys can see like all the plastic and stuff on there. And I know sometimes we think about, oh my gosh, the car is all plastic, it needs to have a metal chassis. But you got to think of, you're paying $239 for this design, and it is very innovative. And I'll get into that in just a minute. And it makes the truck really actually sturdy and beefy as well. So that's causing why I didn't break any parts on it when I was running it. So real quick with the ESC, I'll get to that real quick. This ESC can run a nickel metal battery pack or a LiPo. Right now it's in LiPo mode. Just to go back and forth, it's got what's called jumpers on here. There's actually 3 prongs. This is 2 prongs on this black piece. You actually take that out and move that to the far right for nickel metal, move it to the far left for LiPo. And it actually switches it. I believe the default is if you lose this, it's going to be in LiPo mode, but Arrma gives you another set of these. So I thought that was a plus as well, that you got an extra set of these with your kit. Most times when you, well, I ain't gonna say most times, any car that I know that I've gotten before that have had these hadn't had an extra set in there in case I lost them. So moving on to working on the car, I found it really easy to work on this. Now Arrma's got several videos out there where they actually go through how to change out your pinion gear, work on your diffs, and work on your shocks, changing out the servo if you wanted to, etc., etc. So they've got several videos. And I do advise that if you do get this car, you get it for a kid, just have them sit down and kind of educate themselves on the car, because a lot of times people don't want to read through stuff. They'd rather visually see something. It's a little bit more entertaining to visually see something than it is to read it. It just kind of depends on the kind of person you are. I'm the kind of person that likes to see videos and maybe read up on something a little bit later on. So working on this car was fairly easy. To get to tighten up your spur gear and stuff, this right here is actually spring launch. So this drive shaft, you just actually push this forward and you push it out at an angle, bam, it pops out. They give you an actual tool to put in here to tighten your or loosen your slipper clutch. So you put the tool in there, and I do advise doing what the video says, have the car on the ground and rotate the tires forward to tighten it up, or rotate it backwards with the car still on the ground to loosen it up. When I first got the kit, the slipper clutch was a little bit loose, so I did have to tighten it up. I don't recommend anyone taking pliers. Actually, you see that black, or I'm sorry, not black, that red nut in there. I don't advise taking any pliers and trying to hold that and do that, because it's just going to strip it out. But Arrma also does give you an extra one of these, which I thought was pretty cool too, because you get extra stuff. And stuff that you may strip out or lose, like losing the jumpers or strip this out, you do get another set. So that was pretty cool that they did that. As far as working on the car, it's very easy to work on, like I said, and I do advise if a kid gets this, have them sit down and watch the videos. It's going to help them if they have to do particular things with it, and it's going to help them learn. So for instance, if you need to change out the pinion gear, or if you want to just do some minor maintenance or whatever it may be, to get to your motor, only thing you have to do is, of course, remove this here and take your battery out. There's a screw underneath here you screw out. This pushes forward. You lift. See if I can get more light up in here. You see where this says pull? You lift this up, slide this forward, and this actual whole piece comes out. I had a video on that, and Arrma's got some excellent instructional videos as well. And then it's just 4 screws to remove this back part, and bam, you have access to the pinion gear and stuff. Now with this, it does have pre-drilled holes for pinion gears. It's got a 14, which comes with this. The next one's going to be a 15, a 17, and then a 27. So with the 27, I thought that was pretty high. But I'm thinking that they may use this platform to also do a Raider 4x4, fingers crossed, and a Vortex 4x4, fingers crossed. Because I think that would be awesome to have a stadium truck and a four-wheel drive buggy in this platform. I think that if they do that, they'll be pretty good for the next year or two, shutting the market down with that, because there's not that many choices out there. There's some overseas, but there's not really here in the United States and getting that part support and stuff you would get for it. So anyway, this also comes with adjustable body mounts. So you just unloosen the screws there on both sides. This is front and rear, and you can raise the height or lower the height on this, which is good if you were trying to get an aftermarket body for it. And it's not going to fit on. You can actually do some adjustments for that. Arrma has also made this very easy to work on, like modules, what they're being defined and called as. So if you wanted to, like for instance, change out the servo or get to the servo, it's just a few screws to do that, and they have videos on that. I'll try to put all the video links in the description as well, and it's very easy just to take this out and put that back in. The differentials as well, they make that easy to work on. I didn't have to do anything. I was thinking about putting some thicker oil in there, but it didn't need it. The truck was fine as it is. I mean, I didn't see a need to want to try to put thicker oil in the differentials or thicker oil in the shocks. But they do make it easy to get to those if you wanted to go in and do that. Even with the shocks kind of have a unique design as well with them. And like I said, I'll put that in the video link and you guys can see how to work on those. So all in all, guys, I cannot say enough about this truck. This truck was a blast to drive. I had fun driving it. Other people, I let them drive it, and we all had a blast driving it. There was no problems, no issues, no breaking of drive shafts. You guys see how thick those things are. This doesn't do it justice to show you how thick these are. These are really thick, so I don't see these breaking anytime soon. And just the design of it. I mean, this is just very innovative how they put this kit together. It was well thought out in what they did with it for any beginner or novice in mind, or even an expert like myself who's driven cars before and had tons of cars. It was a blast to drive and a blast to get out there and run. So I am not done with this. I will be doing a lot more stuff with this truck, doing a lot more driving, a couple projects and stuff with it. I'll go brushless, but it's going to be a mild brush. So I'm not going to go crazy or anything like 3S LiPo 4000 6-pole motor or anything like that. You know, you guys get kind of crazy with brushless and stuff, but I will put a mild brushless system in it. Nothing super spectacular, but something that's got maybe 3,000 to 3,500, maybe 3,800 kV, and running on 2S just to show you guys how that runs. I'll probably be gearing it up to the gear ratios are limited with it, with the 14, 15, 17, and the 27. But I think with a mild brushless system, 17 tooth pinion gear, this is going to run just as perfect as it is as a brush truck. So I'll try to get that done maybe in the next couple of weeks or so you guys can see that run. Another question that you guys I know have been asking me, are they going to release a brushless version? I don't know. All I can say is I did see some of the parts that was being listed out there for this. And I did see some chrome looking wheels. And I did see a wheelie bar out there. So they may be working on one. I don't know when they'll release it or when they'll do it, but only time will tell with that. So if you guys are waiting on one, you might be waiting, I don't know, 6 months, a year. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I know there is particular parts out there that are kind of hinting that there will be a brushless version, but who knows when it'll be released. So do I recommend this truck? Yes, I do. I know I said it earlier before. I think the truck is good. I'm going to have some more fun with this truck and do a couple more things. But I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to do a couple of projects and stuff with it. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. I know this was a little bit long, but I wanted to try to just get in and show you guys and tell you guys about my thoughts on this truck. And that I really did like it and enjoy it, and I did enjoy running it, and everyone who ran it enjoyed it too. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not. Find me on Facebook, and as always, guys, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos.